Welcome back. You're in the kitchen with Chef ChefCarlaAndrea, and today I'll be showing you guys one of my fall favorites, apple crisp. So I pretty much have all my ingredients right here except for the apples. I have my apples back here. I was letting them sit in some hot water so that way I can get all the wax off the apples. I like getting the wax off the apples. Now there's one or two ways you can do the apple crisp. You can peel the apples, leave the skin on the apples. I think what I'm going to do today is, since I took all the time to take my wax off, I'm going to leave the apple skin on. I don't know why this is so hard for me to talk about this today. I think because I secretly love apple crisp. Let me get this all out your way. Sorry. I'm going to leave this right here because this is actually my bowl with some lemon water, so that way my apples do not turn brown as I cut them. I love apple crisp, and I used to especially love going to Red Lobster when they had an apple crisp on the menu. That was just to die for. It came with vanilla ice cream. It was the best apple crisp that I ever tasted, and I was heartbroken when I went back and they didn't have it. I didn't know what I was gonna do. The apples, I'm just doing medium, small dices on them, not too thick, but not too thin. You know, because it's going to bake down, so I don't want it to shrivel up. But then what I don't want is for my apple to be too big, and then it doesn't really get tender like you like it. So you can also, you can do chunks, but I'm going to do slices. I like the slice look when I'm doing an apple crisp. Now, for my topping, I put 1.5 cups of flour. I have 1 cup of old-fashioned oats. I have some cinnamon, some nutmeg. I have sugar, brown sugar. I did a cup of each sugar. I did a teaspoon of my cinnamon and my nutmeg. And then this is my, I guess you could call it filling. It's similar to a cinnamon roll filling, but you have some cinnamon, some nutmeg in there, both sugars. With this one, I did put the cornstarch in there as well, because sometimes apple crisp can be too watery and then it never really crisp up. So I went ahead and put some cornstarch in there again to get my topping to kind of rise and so forth. I have some baking soda in there. So I'm going to finish slicing up my apples, and we'll be right back, and I'm going to show you guys how to assemble this and put it together. What's up? We're back. All our apples have been nicely chopped up, so I'm going to go ahead and dump our lemon water. I used the lemon water so that way they wouldn't turn brown. Well, I have to chop up the other ones. Shake off all the residual water. Put it back in my bowl. Now this part right here, I really love using my hands because I get to get downright dirty. This apple that I've actually used is an apple crisp. It's only out during fall. That's why, I'm sorry, a honey crisp. It's an apple honey crisp. That's why I picked it, because it's a fall apple, a fall dish, so I figured why not. Brown sugar, vanilla sugar, nutmeg, cinnamon, cornstarch is all in here. Before you start, try your apples to see how sweet they are. Because if your apples are sweet, you may probably can, scale back on some of the sugar, because you don't have to use as much, because there's nothing worse than an overly sweet dessert. Sometimes it doesn't have to be as sweet, because the apples have a natural sweetness to them, so you'll be good to go. So now that that's finished, I'm going to go ahead and pile up these wonderfully looking diced apples, or sliced apples I did. These look good, Carla. I can't wait to eat this. Excited. I love pastries. I love desserts. I love cakes. I love it all. Alright, so we got that in. Move this out the way. Don't want to leave out an apple. Rinse my hands off. Alright, so now we're going to set our oven to 350. Get that going for us. Here's the apples, one part. I'm gonna take just a little bit of lemon juice, squeeze it right over. Remind me to get that seed out, you guys, so that way I don't leave the seed in. All right, just brightens up the dish a little bit. Grab that seed that I threw in there. So in here we have our baking soda, we have flour, we have oatmeal, we have white sugar, brown sugar, baking powder, salt, and cinnamon and nutmeg. So I'm just going to, before I do this, I'm going to get some butter. I have cold butter, extremely cold. Now there's one or two ways you can do this. You can do this in the food processor. You can do this in the stand mixer. You can even do this by hand. I'm going to show you guys how to do this by hand because I know a lot of us may not have a food processor, may not have a stand mixer. So you just go in here and you just take the butter. You let it kind of, let your hands warm it up. And you just go and you start incorporating this butter into your dry ingredients until you get a nice mealy texture. Okay, we're back. We're finishing up our crumble topping. Don't make the same mistake I made, and I forgot to let it sit out for a few minutes, so it was hard as a brick. So I had to take a few minutes and regroup, get myself together. But this is the consistency that you want your butter at when you go to do it. Because you're using your hand. So you just basically want to get the topping to like a crumbly texture, like little peas, almost little flaky peas in here. Just move it in your hands and just get everything worked together and just get it all going, because it's a crumb topping, so you don't want it to be like powdery, but you don't want it to be like too thick. You just kind of want it to be crumbly, pea size, how it is right now. So I'm going to finish incorporating all this good old wonderful butter into my hands and bowl, because you know you're doing a crumble and it is messy, so make sure you wash your hands, get everything all nicely clean, so that way you can get in here with your hands. If you have a stand mixer, if you have a food processor, you will be finished with this in no time. But I wanted you guys to see, oh, my oven's ready. I wanted you guys to see what it looks like when you are doing it by hand. It's fun, it's exciting, it's a nice little workout. Who says cooking can't keep you fit? All right, so I'm just gonna take this topping, the topping that doesn't stick to my hands, I'm going to put right over my crumble. Get all this wonderfully good topping. I got butter, flour, some baking powder, some sugar, nutmeg, cinnamon. I got all this good stuff in here that I know you're going to love, because I do. It's fall. I'm happy. I'm happy fall is here. Remember, you want to work quick because it is butter, so you don't want the butter melting in your hands like it does in mine when I'm cooking, because I'm just so hot. I melt butter and I turn sugar into water. Okay, let me stop. Almost finished. Look, doesn't this look good? I'll eat it just like this. I mean, there's no eggs in it. I won't get sick. Let me make sure I get all the crumb topping. Leave no man behind. I'm going to dive right into this with some nice vanilla ice cream. You know what I wish I had? I wish I had an ice cream maker. Hint, hint. My birthday's right around the corner, Raquel. And I would love to have me my own ice cream maker. I like a Cuisinart, a kitchen stand attachment ice cream maker. I'll take anything. I'm not, particular. Just one of the top rated ice cream makers. So I can sit at home during the fall and make ice cream and yogurt and gelato. Wouldn't that be fun? Alright, so now we got all of our crumb all over the place. We got it on the stove, on the counter, on my hands. I'm going to rinse my hands off real quick so I can throw it in the oven. Now this is going to cook for about, I'll say I'll say about 45 minutes to an hour. Just check it because it is sugary. So just when everything starts getting nicely golden brown and you can see the apples have started to soften up, you know you're good to go. So put it on the middle rack and go in and let it bake for 45 minutes to an hour. Apple crisp, it's all finished. It baked for a total of 45 minutes. It's nice, it's golden, it's crunchy on top. The sauce is nice and thick. I'm gonna just cut right into it. Oh man, this is exciting. Look at this sauce. Oh man, I love food. Every bit of it. Oh, I wish I could just scoop up the whole apple crisp. Let me get this out the way. I smell it. I smell the cinnamons. I smell the cinnamon, the nutmeg. Here it is right here. It's finished. It looks good. Now I'm just going to put on just a little bit of ice cream. I let my tart cool before I cut into it because there's nothing worse than hot sugar. Hot sugar. I'm going to play that song. She got that hot sugar. Okay, focus. So I just got a little bit of ice cream because I've eaten dinner. I'm stuffed, but I cannot miss this opportunity to try a nice warm apple crisp. So I'm going to get some crisp